Celebrating its 31st season, the Racing Roundup Show is America's longest-running weekly motorsports radio program, held in front of a live audience. Join the racing crowd right now for tonight's live broadcast at Paulies Pub and Eatery at 81st and Greenfield in West Allis. Now, it's time for your weekly look at the local racing scene, NASCAR, and the world of motorsports. Coming to you live in Milwaukee on the Big 920, in Madison on the Big 1070, and worldwide on iHeartRadio. Here's your host for the Racing Roundup Show, Jim Trado.
Hey, good afternoon, good evening, and hello. Thanks for joining us here on the Racing Roundup Show. As that fancy voice just said, our 31st season. Glad to have you with us here on the Big 920 Milwaukee, the Big 1070 in Madison, and on our website, racingroundup.net. You can see the fancy cameras. You can see what we're doing. You can see Scotty Knightson, how excited he is to finish third. Okay, we'll talk to him about that. Great race on Sunday night at Beaver Dam Raceway. Scotty's in the house. We're also going to preview the Midwest Truck Series. They're in action this Sunday. The Joe Shear Classic at Madison International Speedway. It's a 3-division race card. All happens Sunday afternoon at 2 o'clock. We're talking to Blake Brown, the defending series champ, and Joshua James, who brought us beautiful white number 30 truck. It's sitting right out here front at Paulies Pub and Eatery, 81st and Greenfield. Come on down and check that truck out and enjoy some great food specials. 250 bottles of domestic beer all night. $4 burgers all night long. So come on down and join us for something to eat, something to nibble on, and some great giveaways after the show, including 2 tickets to this Sunday's Joe Shear Classic at Madison International Speedway, kicking off a new era with Greg McCarnes and Angie McCarnes involved. The ARCA Midwest Tour season opener this Sunday, adding Ross Kenseth to the card. We're talking to Skylar Holtzhausen as our first guest here on the program in a few minutes. He's one of the ARCA Midwest Tour touring stars. And Skylar knows how to bagging big victories. We'll talk to Skylar about race wins and what he expects this weekend at Madison with a practice day Saturday, racing on Sunday. The Anderson's Pure Maple Syrup NASCAR report is on the way, as well as the Bonafide Security Solutions short track report. We'll get you up to speed there on what did run and what's going to run this coming weekend. Dave Hohensy's here to get us up to speed in the world of drag racing. 1/8, 1/4, 3,000 feet at a time, whatever it is. Dave's going to get us all the goods on our drag race report here tonight, this evening. We also have a great program for you tonight and next Tuesday. I want to remind you, my first reminder during this show, Paulies is going to have a huge Cinco de Mayo party. Yes, Corona's going to be here. Buckets of Corona Light 12-ounce bottles. You can get a bucket for a great special Mexican food specials here next Tuesday at Paulies. And guess what? We're actually on the road for our first remote of the season in 2015. We're going to go to Friends on Forest Home for the entire show next week, Tuesday night. So Cinco de Frienzo. We're going to go to Friends on Forest Home, the old BB Rubbles. A great location. Jeff and Patty have done wonderful things there. They're a support. Commercial break. Hear from some of the great sponsors like Central Services, who's been providing support of the show for all 31 seasons. Great sponsors. Please listen closely to these messages. They make this show possible. We want you to enjoy it. Come on down and join us at Paulies Pub and Eatery. Stay tuned to the radio, to the Big 920 Milwaukee and the Big 1070 NASCAR. That's where you listen to the Racing Roundup Show in Milwaukee. Again, on the Big 920 and on Madison's home for NASCAR, the Big 1070. We'll be right back.
Toll free at 1-800-236-LAWN. Central Services, the visual difference in landscaping.
Hey, Wisconsin! Racing season has officially arrived. It's the Joe Shear Classic, presented by Skag Power Equipment. Sunday afternoon, May 3rd, Madison International Speedway. See the stars and cars of the ARCA Midwest Tour. Defending series champion and iRacing star Ty Majeski. Past winners Hasline, Morrissey, and Sauter. Daytona Speed Week's winner Austin Nason. Top Guns Island, Wyckoff and Swan. Skylar Holzhausen, the $10,000 Kid. Chicagoland champs Baker and Schaefer. Snowmobile Derby champion Cardell Potter. Rising stars Decker, Barstad, and D'Angelis. Madison champs Filer, Johnson, and Wilbur. Champions and challengers from 5 states going wheel to wheel for 100 action-packed laps. Plus, Mid-American Stock Cars and Midwest Truck. Gates open at 11:30. First big race, 2 o'clock. Advance tickets on sale now at MISRacing.com. It all happens Sunday afternoon, May 3rd. Madison International Speedway. The Joe Shear Classic by Skag Power Equipment. The ARCA Midwest West Tour 100-lap feature. This is the one big race you don't want to miss.
Friends on Forest Home is the new name for BB Rubble at 56th and Forest Home, and the tradition of the trophy is back. When there's a caution flag during Sunday NASCAR races, if your number's drawn, you get the trophy and drink for free until the next caution flag. New owners Jeff and Patty are carrying on the NASCAR tradition in a remodeled, fun atmosphere with $2 tappers and beer bucket specials during the races. Friends on Forest Home at 56th and Forest Home wants to sponsor your league team. See Jeff for details. Milwaukee's original NASCAR bar is now called Friends on Forest Home.
Is your business compliant with federal and state regulations? Are you sure? Business materials containing data about your employees or customers could potentially be legal liabilities. Eliminate the risk. Get compliant and sleep better. Call Piranha Paper Shredding. Piranha Paper Shredding gives your business safe, secure, complete, and green destruction of your company's sensitive information. Piranha Paper Shredding is your information destruction expert. Safe, secure, and complete information destruction is your business's best defense. Call 800-808-6577 or visit piranhapapershredding.com.
And welcome back to the Racing Roundup program, live in Milwaukee on the Big 920, live in Madison on the Big 1070. Go to the .coms, go to iHeartRadio, the app on your Google Play or your Android device or your iPhone, iTunes, App Store. By all means, check us out. You can listen to us anywhere in the globe. We're glad you can join us and see what we're doing as well on our website, racingroundup.net, so you can see a live webcast of our program, see archives of past shows, and have some fun with us. So enjoy the evening with us. By all means, come down here to Paulies and have some fun as well. We are going to be joined by a couple of guys here in person. We also are on the phone with a guy by the name of Skylar Holtzhausen. We'll have him just a few moments. I want to tell you that there's a lot going on in the world of motorsports. We'll start with the NASCAR report. It's brought to you by Anderson's Pure Maple Syrup, a proud Wisconsin business and a family business and NASCAR race team sponsor of Junior Motorsports and driver Regan Smith. It's made right here in Wisconsin and available at your favorite store. Anderson's Maple Syrup, pure quality for over 85 years. It took until Sunday afternoon to run, but there was certainty as to who was the fast car. And the fast cars, they belonged to at Richmond International Raceway in the 400-lap NASCAR Sprint Cup Series race. It rained out from Saturday night to Sunday. First time they ran a day race on a Sunday at Richmond since, I think, 1999 when they put lights in. Kurt Busch put on a dominated display with only his white-hot performing teammate Kevin Harvick and an impressive, aggressive Jamie McMurray making the cut, if you will, to try to keep Kurt Busch within distance. Busch ultimately led 291 of the 400 laps. Kurt Busch missed 3 races earlier this season due to an alleged domestic violence dispute, was cleared of that and was reinstated and granted a waiver into the chase for that Sprint Cup championship. He's the 7th different race winner this season and is virtually a lock to be among the 16 drivers in the chase. We're going to cut away from our NASCAR report, thanks to our friends at Anderson's Maple Syrup, to bring you some chat, some discussion with one of the ARCA Midwest Tour touring stars. He hails from Bangor, Wisconsin. You might know the last name, but certainly he's putting his first and last name on the map, and indeed this year he'll do it in each and every one of the 2015 ARCA Midwest Tour races. They start this Sunday at Madison International Speedway. Please welcome in the debut via the phone of Skylar Holtzhausen to the Racing Roundup Show. Skylar, welcome. How are you?
Not too bad.
This is pretty exciting for me to get a few minutes with you. Greg McCarnes, as you know, is putting on everything he can, put everything forward towards the series. And this coming Sunday, but Skylar, as a kid who literally grew up at the racetrack, how pumped are you for a race that's named after Joe Shear, and your thoughts about Madison International itself?
We had a good car there a couple years ago, about won it, and I was pretty heartbroken. But we've had a couple good cars since, and being a Joe Shear Memorial named after him, it means everything to me. I got to watch him race a couple times as a kid and the Arco stuff at the end, and he was one of my favorite drivers other than my dad, so I really like to win that race.
And when it comes to racing in Madison, what do you need to most worry about? We'll get to the competition in a moment, but what do you need to have right with that number 78 machine?
That place, it's a day race, so track's going to get slick. Grip. If you get grip in the car at the end of the race, come off the bottom real low, be able to make passes like that, you're going to be able to have a contention to win that race.
There are 14 declared ARCA Midwest Tour Series touring stars. You're one of them. And now you throw in this kid named Ross Kenseth, who won this race in 2011. He'll be racing with you on Sunday, and his comments, I believe, in the announcement was getting off turn 2 is going to be key, going to be critical. Do you feel the same?
Oh, yeah, that's usually a good place to make passes coming off the 2 there real low. Getting your car to a real turn on the bottom. That is key there. And even if you can make your car work on the outside there, you might really have something for him then.
And when it comes to double file restart, something newer to the ARCA Midwest Tour, how does that change things at a track like Madison where you know a break's going to happen to run those final 36 laps, I believe is still the case, to the finish?
Double file restarts are big, making sure you pick the right line. Usually a guy always wants to pick the inside, but picking the outside can really help a guy too.
And when it comes to doing that, how involved is your father still? He says he's retired from driving, but I know you guys have talked long and hard about racing. He's actually been in your corner when he's not racing, and when he is, you guys are still conferring. How involved is your dad, Steve Holtzhausen, in action and things going on these days, Skylar?
Big time in the setup and working on the car. He's out there every single night with us, and he's a huge part. Couldn't do it without him. He's the brains of the operation. But together as a team, we work great, and I'm really excited for our chances. We found some things over the winter, and we were at the Dells a couple weekends ago and ran really strong. Really liking our chances for this coming Sunday.
Now, the ARCA Midwest Tour has is it a 12-race schedule, something like that, so you got to be on your game, including this weekend. Is Saturday going to be a good test and tune day, or are you guys closer because you got that Dells time before points count in the ARCA Midwest Tour this weekend?
We were on a different tire, so it's going to be a good test for us here. We've made a couple changes on the car, so I'm excited to get my car out there and feel it out. We get 4 hours of practice, I believe. So yeah, that's big. Just getting out there, shake it down, make some fine adjustments, and I think we'll be all right.
And on Sunday, fans can see you at the driver autograph session, but more importantly, there's limited track time if you think about it. You've got your 4 hours of practice here and there, but you're alternating with the Midwest Truck Series and the Mid-American Stock Car Series. And I would expect a huge turnout of super lates running the ARCA Midwest Tour race. So there's opportunity to say, I need to make one change, but will you be able to get back on the racetrack? Those things have to come to play. So as now a veteran in the series or a veteran of super late competition, Skylar, how do you approach this weekend? Do you have to have everything right? Are you looking at, okay, after the first practice session, we're doing X, Y, Z, and knock things off a list? How do you prepare for one of these two-day shows?
You just we got a decent book of notes, so we got a good idea where we should be. But you got guys like Travis Sauter that are going to be right on the money, and he is almost every single time he's there. So to be able to beat him, you got to be excellent. We got things that we usually try to do and get the car set up for the race. And it's just a matter of getting there. The tire is going to be the same this year as they were last year. It all plays a factor in how we do stuff. But, I guess Saturday is going to tell, I guess, for Sunday.
Indeed, and we're speaking with Skylar Holtzhausen. He's an ARCA Midwest Tour touring star. He'll be racing this Sunday, the Joe Shear Classic. You can go to misracing.com on the internet and look for tickets and information about how things happen. But Sunday afternoon at 2 o'clock, we know things really get going in earnest. Now, Skylar, I do have to ask you about how you're approaching this season. You said you got the car kind of dialed in at the Dells. Take us through. Is this your car? Is it a group effort? Is it going to be owners from outside the family? How's the situation setting up, and how's your season looking with the car or race cars you have to race with this year?
Yeah, last weekend or a couple weekends ago, we ran the car my dad was driving part-time for a guy out of Nakusa. His name's Pete Kemp. I'm going to drive his car part-time for him, have some fun with him. He likes to do some racing, so we'll do some part-time stuff with him, and we're just going to run mine in the Midwest Tour. 12 races long. It seems like a short season, but it's with the competition we have, you got to be on your game. So if you got a test on your week off or race somewhere else to keep on top of the game, you got to do that.
Absolutely, and Ty Majeski showed how he could do that last year, racing different cars, and one common thread with them was Toby Noodleman, very familiar with who he is because you grew up in the same pit areas as he did, and as a crew chief for your dad and others. I mean, this is no small potatoes to get to this level, Skylar, and I'm thinking that it takes a lot of effort. So are we talking crew guys? Are there 2 or 3 guys working on the car? Is it you working at night? How does that play out for you to get prepared for these races this season?
Yeah, we got me and my dad and a couple of guys. One guy that used to help him way back when he was first starting racing, and then a good buddy of mine. So we got like 4 guys, and my grandpa Bud, an old racer from back in the day, he comes out and hangs out with us. So we got 4 or 5 guys out there in the shop, 3-4 nights a week, and a weekend sometimes, depending on, what needs to get done. Good group guys, you can trust them doing anything. Ty Majeski, he's got a bunch of guys that are really good, and of course, like you were saying, Toby Newton, and they're going to be stellar everywhere they go. They got a good notebook, and Toby's a really good crew chief. So, we're going to have to really be on top of our game this year if we want to go after a championship. But I'm really up for the challenge.
It sounds like you're fired up, and I appreciate you taking time tonight. And I do want to ask about the funding you have on the team. And are you looking for additional sponsors to help you through this season, Skylar?
Oh yeah, we got enough to get us to the racetrack, but we definitely need more help if possible. But we're gonna try to keep the car in one piece and do with what we got. And we got good, strong, dependable motors from Wagner Automotive Researchers. Carl Wagner, he builds one heck of a motor, and I'm trustworthy of that. We'll find some along the way, and hopefully we'll show that we can run really well, and maybe some guys will come find us.
Well, we wish you nothing but the best this weekend. I'm trying to get the winner of the race on next Tuesday on the Racing Roundup Show, so I can say this with all sincerity. I hope to talk to you in a week or so. Is that okay?
I'd be happy to.
How would I say it for Skylar Holtzhausen? Skylar, we wish you the best this weekend at the Joe Shear Classic at Madison International Speedway. Thanks for your time tonight.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You bet. Skylar Holtzhausen, again, a great kid. Yeah, he's a lot like his dad. He's energetic. He's fun. Steve always had that coy look and feel about him, but, man, could he mash that gas pedal. His kid is that way as well. Skylar, a former ARCA Midwest Tour Rookie of the Year, now running after it. He's a touring star. He'll be at every one of the ARCA Midwest Tour races, including this weekend. And as I mentioned, the ARCA Midwest Tour is going to be joined by the Mid-American Stock Car Series and the Midwest Truck Series. A little bit later on the program, we've got Blake Brown and Joshua James racing in that race. John Woods, all about that series. We're talking to them on this program. They're here tonight, so come on down, hang out with them. Zimmy brought some more cool Rich Bickle stuff. I got to tell you, I got a Popeyes 124 scale car we're going to give away tonight. Some other cool things. Thank you, Zimmy, for bringing that. Zimmy's also involved in the Midwest Truck Series, so if you want to find out more about that, come on down here in person to Paulies to find out more about it. We're going to continue with our NASCAR report as we got Skylar hooked in there on the phone. I know he's a busy guy, so we want to get him from the shop, and they'll back to it on the floor there. Again, Kurt Busch won the race on Sunday. It was former Alan Quickie Racing crew member Tony Gibson's fourth Cup race win as a crew chief for Busch, and the first time they were paired up together as winners in Victory Lane, as they were teamed late last year together at Stewart Haas Racing. Interesting to note, Team Penske won both races last year at Richmond. Joey Logano led the field for the first 50 laps in the pole position on Sunday. However, Logano pitted under green just prior to a caution and lost a lap, then rallied to a fifth-place finish. I thought Brad Keselowski would really jump on things and get his win, or get in that exclusive category of winners this season. However, his Penske teammate Keselowski led some laps, was a factor until his engine soured, and fell off the pace to a 17th-place finish. Kudos to Justin Allgaier for his strong run in Sunday's Cup race at Richmond. I talked to Justin prior to the race on Sprint Vision. He was excited to finish 8th at Bristol. He said the steering was off, just about an inch. Nothing bad. If you nosed it in the fence, if you recall, at Bristol, late in the race with getting together Paul Menard. He came back for a solid run, was running second with 90 laps to go or so. They knew they had to make one more stop. He pitted late and ended up 13th, but a solid run. A lot of airtime for them. They're running the Fraternal Order of Eagles colors, I believe, this weekend at Talladega. If not, it's going to be at Kansas next weekend. Jimmy Johnson said before the race at Richmond, he flat out did not like Richmond, didn't fit his style. So where did he finish? Way back in third. This Johnson kid, I tell you, bent up race car at Bristol, 6th to 2nd in the last couple of laps. Now he finishes 3rd. He is ending all of his tweets with the hashtag SE, the number 7EN, 7 spelled with a 7 in the middle, looking for that 7th championship, and that's how you do it. You finish 3rd at a track you don't like. He was followed by Jamie McMurray, who had a great run, got right up to Kurt Busch, passed him for a while, was nose to tail with him for a long time. McMurray ends up 4th. Joey Logano 5th, as you mentioned. Casey Kane, Matt Kenseth a solid 7th to back up his Bristol win. Jeff Gordon 8th, and Clint Boyer 9th. Hey, Clint Boyer, top 10. First time in 12 years? Clint Boyer's finished top 10, something like that. Great job by those guys. Glad to see they're turning the corner. And I know that's a track Clint likes. I'm glad everything came together. He did not like his car on Friday, I can tell you that. I was part of the MRN coverage, and they were struggling in the garage area. Martin Truex were on the top 10, so another top 10 run for Truex and the Furniture Row guys. Eau Claire's Paul Menard finished 15th. The ARCA Racing Series, presented by Menards, and the NASCAR Xfinity Series joined the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series this weekend at Talladega Superspeedway for the Geico 500. Denny Hamlin is the defending race winner, his first plate race victory that counted for points. Notable in the Sunday Cup race at Talladega, Michael Waltrip will drive the number 55 Aaron's Dream Machine. before he hands it over to David Reagan. It was officially announced today that Reagan will take over that car after this weekend at Talladega. As you may know, Reagan's been filling in for Kyle Busch in the number 18 M&M's car. Well, they're thinking about putting Eric Jones in the car, who is yet to be approved for Talladega and Daytona in July. So maybe by then, running the mile and a half at Kansas, that kind of thing. They will see Eric Jones at 18 years of age run the Cup car, I believe, till Kyle Busch is healthy. Maybe come July, maybe August, maybe June. So that's a big change that was announced today. Also today was Steve Burns' funeral, one of the two services today and tomorrow. So our thoughts are with our friends and family and folks that we know that are part of that ceremony. I've been reading a lot of the social media updates, and it sounds like it's a good place to be for a lot of people in remembering Steve's life. NASCAR Xfinity Series. Speaking of Denny Hamlin, he only led 248 of 250 laps on Friday night in the Xfinity Series race in cool conditions. Joey Logano was surprised of how the inside line came in and stayed there, but it was kind of cool, and there wasn't a lot of grip on the racetrack. Logano finished second. He said, hey, man, I had nothing for Denny Hamlin's car tonight. It was Hamlin's third series victory at the Virginians' home track. It was Toyota's 100th win in the Xfinity Series. Regulars Regan Smith was third, followed by Eric Jones in the 54. Monster Energy Toyota, Chase Elliott, and rookie Daniel Suarez were the top six. Nice job by those guys. Good job all the way around. Also want to remind you that the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series is racing this weekend at Talladega. So is the ARCA Racing Series, presented by Menards. I'll be on the broadcast this Friday, 5 p.m. our time on Fox Sports 1. Tonight's NASCAR report was sponsored by Anderson's Pure Maple Syrup, a third-generation Wisconsin business and NASCAR team sponsor. Everything tastes better with Anderson's Maple Syrup. Try it in your coffee or tea, or even when grilling your favorite foods. Follow Anderson's race team all year long at Anderson'sMapleSyrupRacing.com. When we come back, we're talking about sprint car racing. We're ripping off the fenders. We got the wing on top. We're going 410 sprint car racing, 900 horsepower. Scotty Neitzel could hammer down. We were at his home track, or one of his home tracks this past weekend. We'll talk to him about Beaver Dam Raceway, where they're going to race next time around in the IRA Series. So the bumper-to-bumper IRA boys in action. We'll talk to third-place finisher in the A-Main, Scotty Neitzel, in just a moment. Dave Hohensy's on the way with the Drag Race Report. Blake Brown, Joshua James, two young guns in the Midwest Truck Series, along with John Wood, are here. They're going to be talking to us on the program. Joshua's truck's out front. We've also got, maybe, if we have time, I want to tell you why. 7 reasons why you should vote now for Alan Kwiecki to be inducted into the NASCAR Hall of Fame. You can do it online. I'll tell you how here on the program. Stay tuned. You're listening to the Racing Roundup Show in Milwaukee in the Big 920 on Madison's home for NASCAR, the Big 1070. We'll be right back.
Rapina's Fine Foods at 76th and Beloit Road in the Westwood Center is one of Milwaukee's finest grocers. Shop a true neighborhood grocer for the finest quality beef, poultry, seafood, and sundries. Rapina's has all your grocery needs. Enjoy fine selection from Rapina's Fresh Bakery and Deli Department. Consider Rapina's catering and special menu planning. Available on their website, rapinas.com. Visit Rapina's Fine Foods at 76th and West Beloit Roads. Rapina's Summit Cafe is now open at 6737 West Washington Street in the Summit Place in Milwaukee. Shop Rapina's Fine Foods at 76th and West Beloit Roads and check out their weekly specials at rapinas.com.
Bobby Gutnick and the technicians at Oak Creek Automotive on South 27th Street at Drexel are experts in automotive repair. From minor to major repair, from oil changes to engine and transmission replacement. For 23 years, Oak Creek Automotive has Milwaukee's South Side covered when it comes to know-how and automotive repair. Call Oak Creek Automotive at 414-761-3250. They're open for your convenience Monday through Thursday, 7 a.m. till 9 p.m. and Fridays, 7 a.m. till 6 p.m. Head to Oak Creek Automotive on South 27th Street at Drexel for all your auto repair needs.
Good Day Construction and Property Maintenance is your local source for residential and commercial property upkeep, maintenance, repair, and restoration. Whether it's to keep your property looking good or you need to gut and rebuild from top to bottom, Good Day Construction staff of over 20 qualified tradespeople have you covered. For a free and obligation quote, contact them at 262-662-2201 or through their website at gooddayconstruction.com.
Trademark Real Estate Company, the full-service real estate brokerage catering to racers and race fans alike. They offer buyers with free property searches and acquisitions when you're looking to buy a home, land, or investment property, and provide full-service listing services to sell your property. If you're looking to buy or sell, contact Dan Church Jr. at 262-751-5311 or check out their services on their website at trademarkrealestatecompany.com.
GDC Heating, Cooling, and Drain Cleaning is the home of the $89 service call. That includes the first hour of troubleshooting, diagnosis, and repair. All makes, all models. Heating, air conditioning, and plumbing drains repaired right the first time at a reasonable price. Mention you heard this on the Racing Roundup Show for a 10% race fan discount. Call 262-662-2201 or go online to GDCHVACservices.com.
You're listening to the Racing Roundup Show, live from Paulies Pub and Eatery at 81st and Greenfield in West Allis. Sponsored in part by Complete Heat Treating. Stay tuned in Milwaukee on the Big 920 and in Madison on the Big 1070. We'll be right back.
And we are back on the Racing Roundup program. Glad to have you with us on the Big 920 in Milwaukee, the Big 1070 in Madison. Also, thanks to our friends at Rapina's Fine Foods, Rapinas.com. We have our webcast going. You can see what we're doing and listen at the same time online at racingroundup.net. Let's welcome in a driver who's got all sorts of good things to say because he is fast. He's always been fast, and he just got to race in his hometown this past weekend. He finished third in the 2014 Bumper-to-Bumper IRA Outlaw Sprint Series point standings. He also finished third on Sunday night in the A-Main at Beaver Dam Raceway. Let's welcome in Scotty Neitzel. Scotty, welcome to the Racing Roundup Show. Good to see you back.
Thanks for having me down. I appreciate it.
This is pretty cool to have you here because as we talked to the IRA president, Steve Sinclair, last week, there's a lot of tough competition. I would think that you saw who rolled in the pits at LaSalle. You saw who rolled in the pits at Beaver Dam. This is going to be a tough season, I would think, as a competitor. As strong as you can run, you have to work harder now because there's Ian Matson showing up, and you've got guys you don't know who's going to show up besides the regulars that you got to beat every time.
Yeah, there's a lot of traveling cars that are going to, hit and miss. A lot of our traveling shows, if I call them, our Friday night shows, maybe stuff that's not on Saturday nights, and Knoxville cars will come our way. And a lot of the local guys, a few good 360 racers stepped up, and no one has a shortage of equipment anymore. Almost every car that drives in the gate has the equipment to win. That proved the last few years with some of the rookies, doing some good jobs, some good young racers winning races. They really sit up in the seat, and we've made some changes to our program, and I'm looking forward to it.
And you mentioned some young drivers like Scotty Thiel finished 5th in points last year. Ben Schmidt, who's been on this program, 6th in points last year. Jeremy Schultz, 10th in points. I mean, that's no small feat to run the full season. You're one of 3 guys that run every feature last year. But there were also 85 guys that rolled in the pits over the course of last season. Those are big numbers, but in reality, how do you prepare? Do you just focus on what you need to do, or do you go, oh boy, there's Delansky, he just rolled in. Oh, there's Ian Matson, he's got a brand new motor. How do you prepare, or do you just worry about what you can do, which you do very well?
Yeah, all you can do is, I've been doing this a long time, is worry about what you do. And to be honest, I seem to run the best when there's 40 cars in the pits for the most part.
All right.
I think you kind of know that you can't miss a beat. You can't cut anybody any slack, and you just got to sit up in the seat and race hard. And that's been a problem for me the last few years, to be honest with you. You get to know people a little better, and you've been around a long time. And it seems like the race cars we had 10 years ago, I could be really patient when we went green. I could wait 6-7 laps, let it sort out, and then just go like crazy and pass a bunch of cars and finish somewhere near the front. But it doesn't work that way anymore. The tires have changed, the wings have changed. You know, the race car has just changed enough that from the time you go green, you got to drive the heck out of it in order to stay towards the front by the end, you know. But we've made some changes to our deal, and the car was really pretty good Saturday night. I think we missed the boat the first week a little bit at LaSalle, but I felt pretty good Saturday, considering that's not one of my tracks I usually roll around too good. We kind of kept picking away at it the whole feature, and usually we either run good there or we kind of lose pace and we can't quite keep up. But we seem to stay right in stride with everybody through the whole feature, and we were kind of round at the end and getting better at the end, which is usually not a good point for me at that place. So I was happy with that.
Speaking of Scotty Neitzel, drives the number 2W in the IRA Sprint Car Series, and that's a lot of horsepower, a lot of right rear to get down to the racetrack. You and Bill Rose, you actually, along with Madsen, passed Bill Rose on the last lap at Beaver Dam. You said it's a hard place to get around, much less try to chase a guy and pass for position on the white. Take us through those last few laps, and when did the opportunity arise, and how did you punch through the hole and finish third?
Well, you know, I kind of tried cruising around the top for a little bit there, and we were a little loose to run the top early, it seemed. I kind of tried to set the car for the end part of the race, and the track was so dirty up top. It seemed we were racing on top, a lot of loose dirt and maybe some small rocks and stuff, and I just started running my own groove, which is maybe a little more of a patient groove than a lot of guys, especially the young kids, you know, and I just kept picking away at my groove, and we kind of got up on Madsen a few times there, and he chopped a nose on me a little bit, trying to hang on to his spot. It was a good job on his part. And we just kept picking back way at it, and Bill was kind of searching a little bit as Baylog made his way by him, and Bill was leading for a while, Rose that is. So I just seen him kind of in the middle there and searching a little bit, and I just kept pounding the bottom of the racetrack pretty hard and just kind of got the slide up in front of him just enough off of 4 to get to third place. So
Ian Madsen finishes second, you finish third, Bill Rose finishes fourth, and you're all chasing the black number 2 with Billy Baylog driving it. Hans Lean stuff's pretty good too, isn't it?
Yeah, you know, anything Bill gets in to drive, he's going to do a heck of a job with it, you know. The equipment does a lot these days, but Bill Baylog just drives the wheels off anything he gets in, and he's going to find a way to get it to the front. Bill Baylog commits. Whenever he gets in the car, if he enters turn 1, wherever he's going to go, he commits to it, and he'll drive it he'll drive her in as deep as it's going to go, and if he ends up in the fence, he ends up in the fence. And he does a heck of a job. He'll drive the wheels off it, and whether he's going to show up 75% of the time or 50% of the time, he's going to win a bunch of races. You can bet on that.
As fast as you guys go in these 410 wing sprint cars on dirt racetracks throughout the Midwest, and you go to IRAsprints.com to find out the schedule to get to a race near you, I'm amazed at how close you can really race. And you mentioned how Billy just commits. You commit as well. You can trust your line. He can trust your line. How do you develop that with young kids that come through, and they got a bunch of horsepower? Kyle Martin is a latest example. The kid won a race last year, but he's a 360 kid making his way now. How do you develop that trust?
I don't know. That's just over time. You know, I've been doing this a long time. I think this is my 25th season now. You know, so you just I don't know. It's more about trusting your own race car, I think, than it is trusting everybody else. It's got to come down to that because you know you can't trust everyone you race with. Everyone races different, and sometimes it just comes down to a lot of times it's a lot of finger pointing. Sometimes it's just racing. You know, they're open wheel race cars, you know, and some of these small, tight racetracks, if you're gonna try to finish up front, someone's gonna run over top of somebody sooner or later. That's just part of racing, and it goes with the territory. You know, if you're not willing to get on your head or do some crashing once in a while, it's just gonna come down to that. You're never gonna finish near the front, you know.
Not trying hard enough at times, but you want to be as smooth as glass if you possibly can. What is the fine line at Beaver Dam Raceway? Will you head next for the next point race May 9th? If there's a lot of rain, do you worry about that? You live in Beaver Dam, so you're watching the weather race week, or are you just going to take it as it comes? How do you approach when it comes to, okay, we just raced there last time. I know what my setup is for that kind of track. How much does that game play before you get to the racetrack?
Well, I think Beaver Dam Raceway did a heck of a job this week with the racetrack, considering they tried doing this on a Sunday night. It was a little windy. They had a little rain, you know, during the week. They've done some work there. I commend them. There were still some stones, but they got rid of a lot of rock. I mean, it was really a pretty nice surface. I thought they moved the program along good. I was happy to see it kind of slick off and not get too choppy and rough. You don't tear up a bunch of race cars. The fans don't have to sit through, you know, wreckers driving around the racetrack. So, we'll just watch the weather and see what happens. I'd like to see it get the way it got this last week and kind of hard and slick off up to the fence. And I think as they race on, I don't think you'll see the whole surface quite as dirty as it was this last week. Okay. I think if it does slick off, I think it'll slick off even more and slick off to a cushion up around the wall. And I think that still makes for two-groove racing usually. You know, if they can keep a top and a bottom and let the middle go away, you can have some slide jobs, you know, and you can have guys that can cruise around the bottom and someone just get some speed and momentum and cruise around the top. And you'll usually have a pretty good race at Beaver Dam Raceway that way.
That's what I love to watch, especially with you behind the wheel. You are not afraid or bashful to say, you know what, I just went through the middle of that corner. I'm not going to do that again. But 1 and 2, I'm going to try this. It's always there. How much do you play with the wings? How much are you playing in your mind when it comes to every lap because they go by so quickly? You got to do this constantly. You might not even think about it, but How much adjustments do you do, whether it be mental or physical, with the wing?
Well, yeah, you move the wing around a lot. You just got to keep searching on the racetrack. When we were winning some races quite a bit, and we won some championships, there was a guy in my crew who used to tell me all the time, if you run 3 laps and you don't go forward, just go somewhere else. And if you back up 2 spots, you back up 2 spots, because nobody's going to remember who finished 5th or 6th anyway. So, but yeah, it's hard to keep telling yourself that to move around the racetrack. But as your race car gets better, you get more confident in your race car, and you can race car. We've been struggling the last few years, haven't had the best cars, been trying some different things, and we're a little different again this year, but we headed back the right direction, I think. The cars felt good, the motors felt good.
Brand new car for you guys?
Yep, new car this year. Did a bunch of motor work, so I think we're headed in the right direction. The car felt pretty good the other night where I felt like I could move around a little bit. I think I know a few things we need to do to get a little better in that same type of track surface. So I'm kind of hoping it's something similar to that, and maybe we can try a few more things to see if we can get rolling forward a little better.
I know you like another Beaver Dam racetrack, Dodge County Fairgrounds, the big honkin' half mile. I call it the high power horsepower half mile because you can really sail around that place. That's one of the tracks on the schedule you'll visit. You also go to Wilmot Raceway, Angel Park Speedway. Again, you can find the schedule at irasprints.com. With this new car, how much will you have to do differently when you go to different racetracks? Know that you got 2, one at LaSalle. Now these next 2 at Beaver Dam, this past weekend, and the next one upcoming. You get where I'm going with that. How much change do you have, or how much change will you put into this race car race to race?
Well, I think a lot of the changes, I couldn't go to, the last race car I had, I had to be so careful to get it too tight it wouldn't enter the corner, and I'd have to leave it loose enough that it wouldn't get off the corner. And I just feel like we've made some changes that I think the car has a lot better balance. So realistically, I don't think we'll have to make many changes at all. As the racetrack gets faster, I believe the race car is just going to work better. So we had some things that were a little different in the past, not so much what a lot of everybody else is doing, and we're a little closer to what everybody else has now. In the long run, I think that's going to help us. Maybe we needed to, we tried looking around at what we needed to do near the end of our Goodyear tire days, and I think we kind of got to that point on the Hoosier tire, and it was definitely the wrong direction to go, and I should have known better, but shame on me, and we're headed back the other direction. I think it'll pay off.
Who's with you this year? Who's on the side wing? Who can still find Scotty Neitzel to get money towards you to fund those tire bills? Because I know there's a lot of money adding up, and you do a lot out of your own pocket. Tell us about it. Who you got, and how it can hold you to give you more?
We pretty much got the same group we've had for a long time. Falby Auto Body's been painting my cars for years and years. Jeff originally painted them. Now Aaron's painting them, and they do a heck of a job. Tom Hunter's been helping me out for a long time. He's there yet. We have M&R Sewing, and we just picked up a great Badger bar in Madison, the Red Zone of Madison. So if you're up there, stop in there and have a beer after the Badger game, and make sure to tell them that the 2W car sent you. So maybe that'll help.
We should just have a Scotty Neitzel listening party every Tuesday at the Red Zone, because we're in Madison on the the Big 1070. So I'm thinking this could be kind of a cool thing.
Maybe we'll have to try to work on that.
Maybe indeed. When it comes to the season, is it just, and there's a lot there, is it just the bumper-to-bumper IRA Outlaw Sprint Series, or are you looking at doing something in addition to that?
I'm not sure yet exactly. We're really going to try to focus on the IRA deal right now. Not so much about winning a championship anymore. We've done that. We just want to have some fun. We want to go out and try to win some races. I got some guys with me that weren't helping me. We won our championships and we weren't winning races. And we want to try to win some races for those guys and do a good job for our sponsors and just try to have some fun. We're going to pick away at the whole schedule until it gets to the point where it seems like too much work or it doesn't feel like fun. And at that point, we're going to go do some other things if it comes to that. And maybe, if not this year, next year, the following year. One of these years, I want to go run some tracks out in Pennsylvania. Just run some racetracks I haven't run before. I might get my butt handed to me, but we're going to go give it a try and just try to have some fun and check a few racetracks off I haven't been to. We've been to a lot of neat racetracks and ran well at a lot of them and made a lot of friends and a lot of fans all over the place. And we just like to go run some different tracks and have some fun.
Well, we're glad you took some time out of your busy schedule to join us here tonight. How about a nice hand for Scotty Neitzel? Scotty,
thanks for having me down. I appreciate it.
Make sure you sign our MB Sign backdrop as well. It's our year-long remembrance of our great guests in our 31st season. And Scotty's one of the best as a former champion in the IRA Series. Certainly getting after it again. Their next event is May 9th at Beaver Dam Raceway. Go to irasprints.com for more information. And he is indeed one of the drivers we have in our Bonafide Security Solutions Short Track Spotlight. Here is the Bonafide Security Solutions Short Track Report. To select the right business and residential security system for your needs, including alarm systems, closed circuit, and card access, it's a lock. Contact a Great Wisconsin Short Track supporter at 262-790-9400 or go online to bonafidesafe.com. 2012 Slinger Speedway champion Dennis Prunty in the Super Lates led all the laps on Sunday in the 75-lap season opener in the afternoon hours on the high bank quarter mile. Last week's guest here on the Race Roundup Show program, Steve Apel, used the outside line to pass the Bonafide Security Solutions backed Mike Egan for third on lap 25 or so. Then 3 laps later, it all went wrong. Tim Lattman's car dumped a bunch of fluid on the racetrack. Unfortunately, as he was front row outside starter, so you know he was near the front when it happened, He suffered engine issues and dumped lots of fluid on the track surface, which was followed by extensive track cleanup. Fast forward to lap 45 at Slinger on Sunday, and a big incident involved then second place runner Lowell Bennett, Dan Church of Good Day Construction, Gary Lamont, and Brian DiStefano. DiStefano slid hard into Bennett's exposed left side driver door. Thankfully, Lowell just has a badly bruised foot, and that is all. Rob Brown challenged several times to the inside of Prunty over the race's final 30 laps, but Prunty emerged the victor. Conrad Morgan raced his way to third with Egan fourth and Rich Locke fifth. Brad Miller, who had him on the show last week, he said, I can't tell you what my paint job is. Well, I saw pictures of it. It's different. He finished in the sixth spot in a sporty Metallica-inspired paint scheme. Steve Apple also finished ninth after setting the fast time of 11.262. That's, as David Hobbs would say, that's bloody fast. Josh Wallace won the 30-lap super late semi over Bradley Miller and Conrad Morgan. They all transferred into the big show. Alex Prunty won the 40-lap late model feature by outlasting Casey Johnson's pesky efforts in a tight battle. In the late model debut, our guest next week at Friends on Forest Home, when we're there live for the whole show, Joe Bongiorno finished second to Wayne Freeman in the late model semi-feature, then transferred to the A and raced to 14th. So we'll talk to him about how he's adapting to four wheels and a roof over that's a little bit bigger than the Legends car he was so good with on the dirt a year ago. Bill Preetzel came up just short to Jason Toma in the area sportsman feature, side by side at the finish line. E.J. Waldron won the Slinger Bees, and Scott Getzky survived in the figure eights. It was too cold, windy, and wet to get this past Saturday night's Dollar Night programming at the Rockford Speedway. They'll go back at it this Saturday. Weather force postponement, as we just talked with Scotty Neitzel, from Saturday to Sunday for the bumper-to-bumper IRA Outlaw Sprint Series events at Beaver Dam Raceway. Defending Knoxville Raceway champ Ian Madsen stuck around, as did seven-time and defending series champ Billy Baylog, and a full field of IRA regulars. Baylog prevailed over Madsen and tonight's guest, Scotty Neitzel, for the A main win. Baylog was driving Hans Lean's black number 2 sprint car that they'll race in some races this season together. Race leader Bill Rose held off Baylog's charge until the 19th lap. 1 lap later in the 30-lap contest, the sprint cars of B-main winner and series rookie Kyle Martin and Jeremy Schultz got together, and they went over. So unfortunately for those guys, it wasn't the best of finishes for them, but they'll keep learning from that. And Chris Spitz also was entangled in that. One last late race caution for a Mike Reinke spin from the second, bunched up the field, but to no avail. It was Baylog out front. Madsen and Neitzel, who both powered past Rose in the white flag lap, finished second and third. Rose had to settle for fourth. Steve Meyer advanced from 17th to 5th. Neitzel won his heat and was also third in time. I didn't mention that when he was up here, so nice job, Scotty. Good overall point night all the way around. Brooke Tatnall and Madsen were the fastest in qualifying. The next IRA Points show is Saturday, May 9th at Beaver Dam Raceway. Click on IRAsprints.com for more details. The ARCA Racing Series, presented by Menards, was in action at the high-banked half-mile Salem Speedway in southern Indiana. 59-year young Kenny Schrader led the last 138 laps to bag a win at Salem. His first there since 1999 in the ARCA Series. Schrader led the final go-rounds, but he had a lot of competition and some scares. Under 10 to go, Grant Enfinger, who's won the first 3 races to start this year, he came a-charging. He came a-calling. He was at Schrader's door. Unfortunately, a broken track bar mount ended Enfinger's day within 10 laps of the finish. He soldiered on to finish 13th. The pair, by the way, Enfinger and Schrader, raced for the win last year at Salem, with Schrader cutting a right front tire down in the last race restart, which handed Enfinger the win. So a little bit of karma there coming back Schrader's way, and for the victory. 7 of the top 10 finishers at Salem utilized the new ARCA Ilmor 396 engine, including Schrader. Just so you know, I will be joining the Fox Sports 1 coverage of the next ARCA race this Friday afternoon at Talladega. Tune in at 5 p.m. Central for all the action. Only one caution slowed the ARCA race last year at Talladega, so keep that in mind if you think, oh, it's a big crash fest. Nuh-uh. 1 blown tire, 2 cars involved, that was it. The race went flying past. Jefferson Speedway's opener was weathered out, meaning this season starts this Saturday, headlined by a 50-lap late model feature in Jefferson, Wisconsin. This Saturday is also the start of the Wilmot Raceway's Saturday night program with the 410 sprints, modified street stocks, mini sprints, and 4-cylinder bandits, plus the debut of the new GM crate engine-powered wingless sprint car class. They all got to play on Sunday and a practice day, so well attended, so we'll see how that goes out at the Kenosha County Fairgrounds this Saturday night. Check out WilmotRaceway.com for that. Also this Sunday afternoon at 2, there will be 3 divisions competing in the Joe Shear Classic at Madison International Speedway. Visit MISRacing.com for more details. Tonight's Short Track Racing Report is brought to you by Bonafide Security Solutions. Raise your security IQ. Learn more about the wide variety of security products, including safes and gun safes, by visiting BonafideSafe.com. Bonafide protects what you value. When we come back, we're talking drag racing. We're talking about Alan Kowicki. We're talking Midwest Truck Series. We've got Joshua James Truck right out front here at Paulies Pub and Eatery, where it's going to be a whole lot of fun tonight. They're going to have a big Cinco de Mayo party here at Paulies next Tuesday. And another reminder, next Tuesday, May 5th, we're going to be live at Friends on Forest Home, 56th and Forest Home. Go to our website. We have the address there for you. Who's going to be on the program? Again, that's next Tuesday, live on the road to Friends on Forest Home, 56 and Forest Home here in Milwaukee. Looking forward to that program as well. More to come on this edition of the Racing Roundup program in Milwaukee in the Big 920 and on Madison's home for NASCAR, the Big 1070. We'll be right back.
Olson's Outdoor Power Equipment is a fully equipped parts, sales, and service dealer of quality mowers, snow throws, trimmers, chainsaws, and more. Olson services what they sell, does warranty service work on big box store mowers, and their expert service technicians are ready to get your equipment running right. Put their stock parts department and friendly, knowledgeable staff to work for you. Visit the racers at Olson's Outdoor Power Equipment today at 14323 West College Avenue, just 1 mile east of Moreland Road in Muskego. Olson'sPower.com. Olson's Power Equipment.
At Automatic Transmission Design, we know your vehicle is important to you. When your transmission needs servicing, take it to the best. ATD in Germantown, Wisconsin. ATD understands how important it is to get your vehicle fixed right the first time. When you take your vehicle to ATD, our ASE-trained technicians will run diagnostic tests to pinpoint the exact problem and answer any questions you may have before repairs begin. ATD has been providing high-quality, honest repairs to customers for over 15 years. We service all makes and models using the best parts and equipment available. When you come to ATD, you will get an honest assessment of the problem, simple explanations, experienced technicians, competitive pricing, high-quality parts, and their 100% guarantee. Money is not the goal at ATD. It is the result of fixing the problem and returning the vehicle to you. That is their goal. The next time your vehicle needs quality transmission service, give Charlie a call at 262-251-7777 or visit autotransdesign.com.
Danny Lynch's at the corner of Highway 100 and Lincoln is a great place to watch NASCAR races, Packer games, Brewer games, and to meet up with your friends. Joey and Jim Lynch pride themselves on their friendly hospitality and welcome Racing Roundup listeners to stop in to watch all the races on their 14 TVs and flat screens. Danny Lynch's at the corner of Highway 100 Lincoln has been a longtime supporter of racers, including National Road Racing Motorcycle Champion Dan Volansky. Relax around the big neighborhood bar with 2 pool tables and dartboards surrounded by TVs. Whether you're meeting up before the game, want to watch the races with race fans, or just want to grab a cold one, head to Danny Lynch's at the corner of Highway 100 Lincoln and West Allis.
You're not like the rest. While most travel in a cage of steel on 4 wheels, you're doing without the steel and without 2 wheels. While everybody else hides behind a windshield, you welcome the push of air through your hair. You embrace the motorcycle life to the max. Well, at least you will as soon as you get your motorcycle license. And where better to start than where the records are broken and the rubber meets the legendary road course. Reserve your spot now for this 16 to 18-hour class at Road America Motorcycle School. Space is still available for the Scooter Basic Rider, Experienced Rider, Dirt Bike School, Supermoto, and the Basic Rider course. They even supply the bike. Road America is one of the largest private motorcycle training sites in Wisconsin with award-winning instructors, flexible schedules, affordable fees, and a graduation rate of 98%. Once you're done, just go to the DMV, take the computer portion, get your M stamped on your license, and you're set. You also get special dealer support incentives and a Road America t-shirt that shows you mastered your cycle class. Get ready to ride. Visit roadamerica.com for all the details today or call 1-800-365-7223. That's 1-800-365-RACE.
You're listening to the Racing Roundup Show, live from Paulies Pub and Eatery at 81st and Greenfield in West Allis. Sponsored in part by Complete Heat Treating. Stay tuned in Milwaukee on the Big 920 and in Madison on the Big 1070. We'll be right back.
And we're back on the Racing Roundup program. Thanks for joining us here on the Big 1070 in Madison, the Big 920 in Milwaukee, and also our friends here at Paulies Pub. All are doing a great job. Thanks again for what they do. And they have a big Cinco de Mayo party this coming Tuesday night, May 5th. Yep, that's right. That's Cinco de Mayo. That means 5th of May, I think, in Spanish. I think, yeah. Hey, you know what? This portion of the program is going to get a lot better because we're sponsored by our friends at Borchard Speed Automotive for this segment. Wisconsin's largest speed shop is at 6101 South 27th Street in Greenfield. Borchard's 34th annual Father's Day Car Show is a must-see event at Milwaukee, with over 500 of the area's finest show cars expected at Borchard Speed Automotive on South 27th on Father's Day, Sunday, June 21st. We now have a chance to catch up with our friend, speaking of horsepower and getting it down the racetrack. He knows all about it. He's still driving. He's still having fun. He's still got on the microphone every now and then. He's also up and down the road across the country. Glad to have him stop by in person for a change. Let's welcome back for our 31st season a guy we've had a long time involved in here as he's racing, all drag racing, and he loves it. We got him on our show to talk more about it. Let's welcome in Dave Hohensee. Dave, welcome back for the 2015 season for the first time.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate all the applause. So, wow, 31 years. Yeah. Long time. Yeah. It's all good.
It's only like most of the time you've been racing.
I know. Right? Well, about 35 years.
See, there you go.
Anyway, yeah. 11.2 seconds and Kenny Schrader. Wow. I mean, 11.2 lap time at Slinger.
Yeah, and Schrader won.
Wow.
Race.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right. There's hope. There's hope. Anyway, it's good to be back. Good to see all you guys. And, going to have another good year. O'Reilly Auto Parts Spring Nationals. They are in Baytown, Texas. That's just outside of Houston, NHRA. And in Funny Car, Ron Capps outran his teammate, Fast Jack Beckman, for his second win of the season. It was Capps' 44th career win, and it moved him into second place. I didn't know that.
I didn't know he had that many.
I didn't either.
Wow.
Behind John Force. And he even said, I'm not that good. Okay? Because he's usually, tongue-in-cheek kind of guy. Yeah. I mean, he's a tough competitor, but, yeah. So what the heck?
That's some Napa know-how going on down the racetrack.
I guess so. I mean, he's not going to catch Force. We all know that, but that's a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
Top Fuel, Doug Coletta beats longtime rival Tony Schumacher. Now, Schumacher's kind of had his number the last 10 races. He's like 9-1, okay? But, old Dougie pulled it off, so that was good. Because there's always that rivalry between Connie Coletta and Don Schumacher.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Don Schumacher has 21 teams now between the.
I have no idea.
7?
I mean,
6?
Yeah. I want to say 4 or 5. I think it's 6.
Yeah.
6 teams. You know, Force has got like 4 or 5. So, but it costs so much money. And I tell you, sponsorship isn't easy to come by. Even in NHRA this year, you've seen it. Okay, and
John Force being the biggest. Newsmaker when it comes to how he helps and protects his sponsors and promotes everything.
Right.
He lost Castrol. He lost Ford.
Right.
So how's he and his teams holding up?
I mean, he's got Chevrolet behind him a little bit. I mean, none of those guys, Schumacher or Force, is really going to take out of their own pocket per se. Okay, so they come up with something to get it done and keep going. And if they got to cut 1 or 2 teams, then they'll do that. But so far they haven't. But it's tough all around, That big corporate money is hard to come by now. Pro Stock, what can we say about Erica Enders? I tell you,
she wins.
She's the defending Pro Stock champ. She won the championship last year. I tell you, this girl can drive a race car in Pro Stock. And I think she's impressed a lot of people. She doesn't have to prove anything to anybody anymore. And she's playing with all the big boys. She's the only one in Pro Stock, and she's getting it done. So it's good to see. I mean, it's good to see. She's a really good driver. There's just she has good equipment, but she's a good driver.
And she won again this past weekend.
Yes, she did.
Competition, or did she kind of walk them just dialed in?
No, it's, none of the stuff's easy. I mean, between 16 cars, usually there's maybe 800ths to a tenth of a second, difference between first and 16th. And you got to be on the tree. You can't be lazy. I mean, if you're cutting like a 75 or 80 bulb like they do in Funny Car and Top Fuel, you're not getting it done. I mean, you got to be up on the wheel. You got to be up on the tree. You got to hit those shift points. I mean, it's not an easy thing, but she's doing well. I mean, I'm not tooting the horn for her, but I mean, she's, she's getting it done. And point standings, 6 events so far this year. Time flies. Top Fuel, Tony Schumacher's leading it. Spencer Massey's in second. Antron Brown is in third. Funny Car, Ron Capps is heading up the pack. Matt Hagan and Del Worsham. All right, so Force Cars are down there a little bit. Pro Stock, Erica Enders, and she's holding off Jason Line and Greg Anderson in the Summit Car. So, there's always there's a real battle between the Summit Cars and her, okay? So it'll be interesting as the season plays out. But, I mean, I think she's got a good chance of, maybe repeating. So it'll be good for her. This past weekend, we had the first points race at Great Lakes Dragaway. Saturday sucked. We all knew that weather-wise. There's no other way to put it, all right? So it was rained out. And they raced on Sunday. Top Eliminator went to my good friend Joe Moravec. Modified Eliminator, Brent Vincent. And in street, it was Paul Zimmerman. So, no, I did not race. We didn't have the car ready. I just picked it up today.
Okay.
Yeah, the car owner wanted to make some changes, and we just couldn't get it done, which was okay because we only missed one race. So we'll take it out and test this week, and I think it's the end of May will be our next points race.
Okay.
So,
all right.
It'll be good. So
Hope you have
I
it
can
before
still,
then.
I still remember how to get in it, how to get out of it. It's got a parachute on it now. I don't know how to pack that, so I'm hoping I never have to pull it. Okay. We put nitrous oxide on it. I don't know about that either. So,
Okay.
it just, whatever. There's all kinds of buttons to push. Whatever. We're going down the track. It's a lot for an old guy to remember. I have sticky notes all over the dash. Okay? So that's just how it goes.
That's awesome. Hey, Dave, thanks for being on the show again
All right.
this week.
I appreciate it. I look forward to I'll be on every couple weeks as we talked about when we got some NHRA results or a special guest or whatever. So
Sounds good.
Good to be back. Thanks.
Thank you, Dave. How to Sam for Dave Hohensee. Thanks for joining us here on the program, Dave. We're going to step away right now, and we're going to come back talking about Midwest Truck Series racing on this edition of the Racing Roundup program. We're also going to get to, I think, how I believe you have 7 reasons to vote for Alan Kowicki to be inducted into the NASCAR Hall of Fame. We'll also tell you who's on next week's show when we're live at Friends on Forest Home. This program rolls on. We're live at Paulies Pub and Eatery, 81st and Greenfield. Stay tuned. You're listening to us in Milwaukee on the Big 920, and I'm Madison's home for NASCAR, the Big 1070. We'll be right back.
Is your business compliant with federal and state regulations? Are you sure? Business materials containing data about your employees or customers could potentially be legal liabilities. Eliminate the risks. Get compliant and sleep better. Call Piranha Paper Shredding. Piranha Paper Shredding gives your business safe, secure, complete, and green destruction of your company's sensitive information. Piranha Paper Shredding is your information destruction expert. Safe, secure, and complete information destruction is your business's best defense. Call 800-808-6577 or visit piranhapapershredding.com.
If you want to eliminate the hassles of planning a trip to the races, then you should hook up with Boring Bob's Escorted NASCAR Racing Tours. Boring Bob offers transportation, lodging, tickets, nightlife, shuttle service, and more. Boring Bob knows all the back roads into and out of the racetrack. His motor coaches get the best parking spots. Let someone else worry about race traffic after the race. Pick one or pick them all. Go in style to Talladega, Charlotte, Joliet, Daytona, Michigan, and more. You name the race, let Boring Bob do the rest. Boring Bob has great packages for NASCAR, Winston Cup, and Busch Series events, including hotel rooms. Call Boring Bob today to make plans now to go on one of Boring Bob's famous escorted NASCAR racing tours. Boring Bob's always at 414-321-1307. That's 414-321-1307.
You're not like the rest. While most travel in a cage of steel on 4 wheels, you're doing without the steel and without 2 wheels. While every
While you wait, Hi, this is Richard Petty from my friends at Schaefer Oil. Thank you for calling. I got them running down the person you're trying to reach. They'll be with you in just a minute. And by the way, did you know we use Schaefer Oil in our Richard Petty driving experience cars? Yeah, we love it too. Hey, hold on, and someone will be right with you. Just a minute. Thanks for calling.
With the crazy price of gas or diesel, improve your fuel mileage today with Schaefer's Specialized Lubricants. Schaefer's neutral gasoline additive can improve your mileage up to 10%, roughly 2 to 3 miles to the gallon more than you are getting right now. Schaefer's premium diesel additive improves mileage of 1.5 to 1 mile a gallon more, and it's been tested to improve diesel pickup truck mileage up to 2 miles per gallon. Schaefer's Rep Chris Hauser can get you the best deal. At $4 a gallon, you cannot afford not to call Chris Hauser. To improve your fuel mileage today, call Chris Hauser, the Racers Schaefer Specialized Lubricants rep, at 262-860-1004. That's 262-860-1004.
You're listening to the Racing Roundup Show, America's longest-running weekly motorsports radio program held in front of a live audience. Stay up to speed every Tuesday night on the local racing scene, NASCAR, and the world of motorsports. Live on WOKY AM, the Big 920 Milwaukee, and on WTSO AM, the Big 1070 Madison. There's still time to join the racing crowd for tonight's live broadcast at Paulies Pub and Eatery at 81st and Greenfield in West Allis. Once again, here is the voice of NASCAR at the track. You hear him on MRN's NASCAR coverage and as a pit reporter on Fox Sports 1, the host of the Racing Roundup Show, Jim Trado.
Hey, everybody. It's a pleasure to be with you again this Tuesday evening. Thanks for being around with us here at Paulies. We've got a great program rolling on here. I want to tell you that our friends at Miller Sales and Service are bringing you some quality programming because they're bringing us this segment. Miller Sales and Service has the right trailer for your needs. They have a great selection of Bravo enclosed trailers, Big Tex, Chilton, reliable, and B&B dump utility and equipment trailers. Let Miller Sales and Service hook you up with the right trailer at the right price. Call 920-994-4358 and ask for Brad, Jerry, or Tom. That number again, 920-994-4358. Miller's Sales and Service. All their inventory is online at millerssales.com. We mentioned the Big Joe Shear Classic is coming up this coming Sunday afternoon at Madison International Speedway. We have a pair of tickets to give away tonight after the show to a fan here in this audience here at Paulies. More importantly, we're going to talk to a couple of drivers you can root for when you go to the racetrack this coming Sunday at Madison. They're here with us in person, as is John Wood. We got a truck out front, thanks to Joshua James and Blake Brown. Let's welcome all three of these guys to the Racing Roundup Show. Guys, thanks for making the time to be with us tonight. This is pretty cool. John, I know you've been here. You're passionate about the Midwest Truck Series. And I'm thinking these young guns represent a whole lot of talent. And a lot of talent's going to be in this series racing this Sunday at Madison.
Yeah, you're correct there. I mean, I have been involved with it since day one when the series started. I mean, gosh, it's been all of 20 years ago. And I've raced every year until last year when the year before I got in an accident at La Crosse. And my doctor said, you ain't racing no more. I've listened to him till now, but, you know, it has been in my mind lately.
But you didn't really take it all to heart because you are very active with this series. Tell us about these trucks and what we expect to see on the racetrack on Sunday.
Well, I'll tell you what, as you said, I mean, it's deep down in my heart. I got a lot of passion for it. My brother Jerry, my two nephews, Joe and Chad, I mean, we are definitely very involved in it. And personally, obviously, I think it's one of the greatest series there is. You know, it's a late model coil-over chassis, truck-bodied. The chassis is a little bit different than the super lates, but the main thing is you can learn from it. You're on the 10-inch tires. But the best part about it is you're using a crate motor, $3,200 approximately. I mean, we've got them out there that are 4 or 5 years old. I mean, you just can't beat them.
And the thing about it is there's a lot of trucks that are very close in competition. It's not a matter of getting fast. You've got to be fast, but there's a lot of fast trucks. Let's bring in Blake Brown as the defending series champion. And Blake, I know you ran super lates, you run all sorts of different divisions. What do you enjoy about racing with the Midwest Truck Series?
Exactly like you just said. Just everyone's so close. It's such good racing. I agree with what John just said too, that I think it's one of the best series out there. I can honestly say hands down, out of all the different cars I've raced, like you mentioned, I'd say trucks is the most fun I've ever had. Last season we had a bunch of really good side-by-side racing just about everywhere we went. And it's just attributed to what you said as far as everyone running so close. There's just a lot of really good racing.
Where do you get that advantage then? Is it a matter of saving your tires, or are you eating up a lot of tires as the race goes on anyway?
I mean, that's definitely part of it. You don't want to burn the tires up. That's definitely a part of racing. And as John also said, that's something you kind of get to learn in the trucks too. Instead of just jumping into a late model with a lot of power, you still get to run on the same tires, but kind of start learning tire management. So that's part of it. But just, I don't know, everyone's just so close. We had an advantage sometimes. Other races, other guys had an advantage. I really got to attribute it to C&J, Fab, and Chad Wood there. He sets the truck up so good. He does for a handful of the truck guys out there, but he just makes a lot of our job really easy. Makes us look really good.
The J stands for Spiff. I don't even know Spiff's real name, but I never see him standing still either. He is always worrying and wondering what can he do to make your truck faster. That's got to be a help too.
Oh, definitely. Like I said, Chad sets it up good at the shop, and Spiff's awesome. He's always running around helping everybody out at the track, and just both of those guys, they really help us all out. And I got to thank my team too. Thomas, he's my crew chief, does an awesome job. We made a lot of really good adjustments, and I guess that there maybe kind of give us the advantage at the track, just depending on track conditions and what's going on at the track. He's really helped me out, along with Brendan, my tire guy, and just those guys just kind of give me the advantage at different tracks over our competition.
Hanging out with Blake Brown as well as John Wood. We're bringing in Joshua James now. I first saw Joshua James in the American Super Cups. He's also an IX champion in the Bandoleros division. You've got a lot of different races under your belt, Joshua. That beautiful white truck out there is going to be racing this Sunday in Madison. How stoked are you to get to go racing in these trucks, and what are your expectations?
Well, I'm pretty excited about this year. Last year was a very good year for us. Couple first place, quite a few top fives. Very excited for this new year. Got to thank C&J Fabrications for getting the new truck ready, Pathfinder chassis, and all of our sponsors that are to help us out.
And when it comes to racing guys like Blake Brown, like Jerry Wood, who's got 3,000 laps at every track you go to, how much does that help you? How much does that series really want to make you better as a driver, not just say, oh, the kid's here, we're going to see how he does? I mean, it's got to be a helpful comfort for you.
Yeah, you can learn a lot out these guys. Great drivers. Series great. Every track we go to, it's a lot of them are new experiences for me. Just going out there and following people around, getting some fast laps in, and starting to learn every track we go to.
This Saturday, practice day. Joshua, what do you expect to do there? Are you going to be out there all day to try to get some laps in before Sunday?
Yeah, since we got a new truck out there, probably do quite a few laps to get it under, shake it down, see what we can do in it. Should be a little bit faster, hopefully, just because it's newer, a little lighter. Everything else is pretty excited though for this year, I guess.
And Blake, about your equipment, is it what you know you can win with from a year ago, or has there been changes to your machine as well?
I would hope so. Our main goal for this Saturday, actually, I wrecked it at Rockford, so a lot of new parts on the truck, so just kind of want to shake it down, make sure everything's good, and make sure it's the same piece we had last year, so hopefully we'll still have a shot at it.
The Midwest Truck Series is in action this weekend at Madison International Speedway. They're also, it's called a series, so John Wood is developing, along with Steve Zimmerman, Zimmy, a very attractive package to get racers to race in this series. What's the plan now? Where are you guys racing? What's on the schedule past this weekend at Madison, John?
Well, I tell you what, we got races at the Dells Motor Speedway, June 20th, July 25th, September 26th. We signed on with Ron and Scott Wimmer at Wausau. That's a big event on July 11th. Plover is our last race we signed with this year, and that's with Matt Panner on September 7th. And we're really excited about going up there. And then Greg McCarnes at MIS, I mean, he's great. I mean, obviously we're going to be racing there this weekend. We got another race scheduled for July 31st. Things are really coming around this year. Like you said, Steve Zimmerman from MMR, he has worked his tail off. I mean, he's got over $20,000 worth of contingency awards for our series. I mean, that's nothing to sneeze at. He's done great, and we had a lot more plans for next year. I mean, this is only my second year in per se doing the promotions. I mean, I wanted to stay involved, and I tell you what, it's just going from good to great. I'm just really proud of. I mean, obviously, it's not just me. I mean, everybody in the series helps, all the drivers, all the teams. I mean, it's a group effort. I mean, that's what's so beautiful about it. Like Blake and I were talking earlier. I mean, you go to the racetrack, 99.9 of the teams and the drivers are awesome. You always got to have that little gray area, But by the next week, that gray area is over with. I mean, I mean, it is so cool, and it's. Well, we got it, gentlemen. Chad Devine, race super lates. he bought a truck this year. Why do you want to buy a truck? Him and his dad. Because we want to have fun for a change. I mean, it's fun, it's relaxing, relatively inexpensive, like I said, with the approximately $3,200 motor.
What about the tires? You guys don't bolt on every set you can. You guys have limitations there too, right?
No, we got a 2-tire rule. Hoosier tires, we get them from Dave Grunberg, and I got a 2-tire rule. We police it with the barcode scanner and all that kind of stuff. I mean, some people, there's a couple of teams, we just soon buy 4 tires. Well, Jesus Christ, if I limit it to 2, I'm putting another $300 in your wallet.
Yeah.
It's not rocket science. I mean, some people, whether it's a super lates or limiters, whatever, they come out of the shop in the spring and they think they're rich and we're going to do this, we're going to do that. We've seen a lot of them through our years. They run out of money, halfway through. They get in a couple of wrecks or whatever. It's like, that's our goal, is to keep these guys racing. I mean, limit the tire spending, limit, some of the other finances, like I said, the engine rule, some other rules, and I think it's quite successful, and it's really, really coming even stronger.
And Blake, let's bring you back in the equation when it comes to these tires, because you know the beautiful feeling of having 4 fresh tires on that race car, and you know the beautiful feeling of getting 4 new ones again. These are shorter races. We mentioned about tire management to a degree, but this adds a different factor to it, doesn't it? When you say, okay, I know I'm only getting 2, but this whole race, I only get 2 new ones. Does that make you change your mindset? Which 2 do you choose, and how often you run on the track, perhaps, or even a practice day?
That definitely comes into play. It didn't affect it as much as I guess I originally thought it might, but like I said, it definitely came into play at a couple different races last year. You might have, obviously you don't use the left rear as much as any other tire, so that tire you might be able to run longer than, say, a right front or something that you use up a lot more. So just something extra you kind of got to keep track of and stay on top of and monitor. And yeah, you might kind of try a different strategy at a different race, different from what other guys might be doing, just try to pick up another advantage there, depending on what tires you decide to change for that one.
And Joshua, you've won a couple of these races. How has the limitation on the tires helped you figure things out, and what do you expect this coming weekend to be the magical setup when it comes to tire choices at Madison?
Well, doing this tire deal is a great deal to all the drivers, and it's helped me a lot to really understand the car and get to know what it's going to be like, especially on some of your longer runs, doing some practice laps and how the tires are. This weekend in Madison, hopefully we'll fast rail the trailer, and get the right setup day one.
And when it comes to that, a lot goes into it. And we mentioned C&J, but the neat thing about what I find in the series as a spectator walking through the pits, they're always wanting to help you. Everybody in this series wants to help you get faster. Even if it's, hey, I just saw you do this in the corner. I see drivers get out of the truck and tell the other guy, this is what I saw you doing wrong. That doesn't happen everywhere else.
Yeah, and they're not hollering at them neither. They're just suggesting.
Yeah.
It's since day one, that's the way I've always been. I mean, fortunately, after I learned a little bit, I was able to, suggest to some guys. The first year or two, I got suggested a lot, and it wasn't in a nice way. But that's another story. But seriously, though, I mean, like Blake, he's experienced with the super lates and stuff, and I mean, he's awesome. And, half the field is that way, and then you got your younger people. But the older people, the experienced people, we're always willing to help because, we want to keep that guy safer. We want to keep him going straight down the straightaways. It's just the way we are because, we hope they advance someday into a super late or whatever. Like young Camden Murphy. He races with us. Last year, he got a shot with a Camping World truck, and he did an excellent job. There's just an example of what you can learn in our series. It's great. Right now, we have an age difference between our youngest racer and our oldest racer of close to 50 years. We've got a few, I don't want to say older drivers because I was one, but it's, they get out of the super late deal and they're sick and tired of spending $1 million and, let's get into something that's, fun to race. Still the same deal, and like at Madison, they're barely a second slower, believe it or not, than a super late. Just like Blake, he did a great job with the super lates, and he just shortened up a little bit and he's loving the Truck Series.
And Blake, who is with you as far as support, whether it be a team or sponsorship that helps you in the Midwest Truck Series?
Yeah, like I said before, gotta thank C&J, Chad and Spiff for maintaining and setting the truck up. Gotta thank Thomas.
I'm gonna guess it's John, right? Is it John? Is that his real first name?
Yeah, it is. I mean, that's the funny thing about it. I mean, when Chad named the company, he should have just named it CNS. I mean, everybody calls him Spiff, but I mean, Spiff, John, he does a great job, and obviously Chad. I mean, I'm gonna toot Pathfinder's horn, everybody's horn, but it's because we're all behind the Truck Series so much. We couldn't do it without anything, guys. And like I said, I mean, it's 100% effort from everybody, sponsors, drivers, owners, the shops and stuff like that.
Blake, I cut you off. So you mentioned C&J, and I got off on this Spiff tangent. Sorry, but
No
continue,
problem.
please.
No, just got to go back to my team. Got to thank Thomas O'Rourke, my crew chief. He's awesome, helps me out so much. He's volunteering to use his truck to haul our truck to the track every race and just doing as much as he can for me. Got to thank him. Got to thank Brendan. He's doing my tires again this year. Did awesome last year. Looking forward to another good year. My dad spots for me. It's awesome having him there. Got to thank him. Got to thank my grandpa. He supported my whole race career more than anyone else. So he's a big part of it. And then, of course, got to thank my sponsors. Cunas Country Auto Group came on for my primary sponsor this year. They own some dealerships in southern Wisconsin and northern Illinois. Got a good chunk of dealerships there. And we've got a deal with our race team this year. Fans can get $100 off purchase of a new or used vehicle at any of their dealerships. So if you go on my Facebook page, just search Blake Brown Racing. I've got some links on there to find the coupon there for the $100 off for fans to check that out. So love to have them support my sponsors to keep me on the track. Also want to thank, actually just picked up a sponsor today, Amsoil direct jobber Matt Haugen. He came on board, so looking forward to having him out there this year. Anyone looking for some Amsoil products, make sure you check him out. His link's also on my Facebook page. And lastly, I want to thank Club Lamarck. It's a race car bar in Madison there. A lot of people like going there. They got a lot of cool, it's a race car theme bar. So pretty cool to have them on board too. Anyone listening in Madison right now, it'd be cool to have them go check them out. They're on Highway 151 in Madison there. So just got to thank everyone for being a part of the team, and hopefully we can all get back to victory lane a couple times this year.
A lot of great support for you as well. Joshua, who's helping you along the way this year?
Well, I got to thank C&J Fabrications, Pathfinder Chassis, Generation Dentistry. I got to thank Saukville Veterinary Clinic, and I got to thank, I really got to thank American Natural Premium Dog Food. They did a great
Dog food. Why not?
Great help last year.
Yeah.
It's great help.
Very cool. And then as far as your family, are there a bunch of folks that go to the track every week with you?
My dad, every weekend,
All right.
out there helping out and spotting me, and does a great deal.
Cool. And I know it's a lot of work. Are there folks that are supporting the Midwest Truck Series that you want to mention now, John, that are part of the program?
Well, it's I don't want to say it's funny, but with Steve's help this year, I mean, we got over 20, contingency sponsors and such. We're working on a series sponsor right now. We're working on event sponsors.
Where can people find out more about the Midwest Truck Series?
Actually, you go to MidwestTruckSeries.com.
Okay.
Please go on there. You'll enjoy it. We keep it updated daily. You're going to find out a lot of information on there. It's a good site to go to. Plus, there's a link to the face page too.
Awesome.
Yep.
Hey, how about a nice hand for these guys? Blake Brown, nice job. Thank you, Joshua, for coming on the show. And as always, John Wood, thanks for all you do with the Midwest Truck Series. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jim. Take
Great
care.
effort. A great segment as well. We've got a lot more to talk about. Unfortunately, we're running short on time. We're taking a commercial break. We're back with talking about what's on next week's show live from Friends at a Forest Home. Stay tuned. You're listening to the Racing Roundup Show in Milwaukee and the Big 920 on Madison's home for NASCAR, the Big 1070. We'll be right back.
Friends on Forest Home is the new name for BB Rubbles at 56 and Forest Home, and the tradition of the trophy is back. When there's a caution flag during Sunday NASCAR races, if your number's drawn, you get the trophy and drink for free until the next caution flag. New owners Jeff and Patty are carrying on the NASCAR tradition in a remodeled, fun atmosphere with $2 tappers and beer bucket specials during the races. Friends on Forest Home at 56 and Forest Home wants to sponsor your league team. See Jeff for details. Milwaukee's original NASCAR bar is now called Friends on Forest Home.
Hey, Wisconsin! Racing season has officially arrived. It's the Junction Classic, presented by Skag Power Equipment. Sunday afternoon, May 3rd, Madison International Speedway. See the stars and cars of the ARCA Midwest Tour. Defending series champion and iRacing star Ty Majeski. Past winners Hasline, Morrissey, and Sauter. Daytona Speed Week's winner Austin Nason. Top Guns Island, Wyckoff and Swan. Skylar Holzhausen, the $10,000 Kid. Chicagoland champs Baker and Schaefer. Snowmobile Derby champion Cardell Potter. Rising stars Decker, Barstad, and DeAngelis. Madison champs Filer, Johnson, and Wilbur. Champions and challengers from 5 states going wheel to wheel for 100 action-packed laps. Plus, Mid-American stock cars and Midwest trucks. Gates open at 11:30. First big race, 2 o'clock. Advance tickets on sale now at MISRacing.com. It all happens Sunday afternoon, May 3rd. Madison International Speedway. The Joe Shear Classic by Skag Power Equipment. The ARCA Midwest Tour 100-lap feature. This is the one big race you don't want to miss.
Bobby Gutnick and the technicians at Oak Creek Automotive on South 27th Street at Drexel are experts in automotive repair. From minor to major repair, from oil changes to engine and transmission replacement. For 23 years, Oak Creek Automotive has Milwaukee's South Side covered when it comes to know-how and automotive repair. Call Oak Creek Automotive at 414-761-3250. They're open for your convenience Monday through Thursday, 7 a.m. till 9 p.m. and Fridays, 7 a.m. till 6 p.m. Head to Oak Creek Automotive on South 27th Street at Drexel for all your auto repair needs.
Olson's Outdoor Power Equipment is a fully equipped parts, sales, and service dealer of quality mowers, snow throws, trimmers, chainsaws, and more. Olson services what they sell, does warranty service work on big box store mowers, and their expert service technicians are ready to get your equipment running right. Put their stock parts department and friendly, knowledgeable staff to work for you. Visit the racers at Olson's Outdoor Power Equipment today at 14323 West College Avenue, just 1 mile east of Moreland Road in Muskego. Olson'sPower.com. Olson's Power Equipment.
You're listening to the Racing Roundup Show, live from Paulies Pub and Eatery at 81st and Greenfield in West Allis. Sponsored in part by Complete Heat Treating. Stay tuned in Milwaukee on the Big 920 and in Madison on the Big 1070. We'll be right back.
How you doing? Hey, everybody. We're having a great time here at the Racing Roundup headquarters, Paulies Pub and Eatery, 81st and Greenfield. This is our regular home. I want to remind you that next week, Tuesday, however, we are taking it down the road to our friends at Friends on Forest Home, 56th and Forest Home. BB Rubbles was the old name of the place. It's brand spanking new inside. Great fun. Lots of great traditions continue, including that yellow flag special during the races. If a caution comes out, they pull a number out of the hat, and that person enjoys beverages till the next caution for free. Well, next week, Tuesday, when we're live at Friends and Forest Home, they're doing it during our show. So when we take a commercial break, we'll draw a number out, and somebody in the crowd can hang out and enjoy beverages until our next commercial break. So plan accordingly, have some fun, and we're also going to have a great lineup of guests, including hopefully the winner of the Joe Shear Classic this Sunday at Madison. Joe Bongiorno, who's again making that move to late models at Slinger. He was very much a standout in the Legends, and he won some national attention there. Joe's attention has now turned to late models at Slinger. We'll talk to him about his rookie season thus far, as he's sponsored by Friends on Forest Home, as is Scott Cuxhouse, who races a dirt modified with his son Cameron at Wilmot Raceway. Jeff Tondrick also back behind the wheel last year and this year, a dirt sportsman. We also, I believe, are 95% sure we're going to have a guy on we haven't had on the show in about 10 years. He writes for the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. His name is Dave Coleman. Dave says if all goes to plan, he will be at our show in person at Friends next Tuesday. So be kind to him so he shows back up in less than 10 more years when we keep the show rolling. We also have Dean Strongman on hand with us for the Bonafide Security Solutions Short Track Report. Yeah, I can say that fast. Bonafide Security Solutions Short Track Report. There's a beer bucket special, free food with prizes also next week at Friends on Forest Home. We do want to thank our guests this week, Skylar Holtzhausen, Scotty Neitzel, Dave Hohensee, Blake Brown, John Wood, and Joshua James of the Truck Series. And in the waning moments, I want to tell you why you should vote for Alan Kwiecki. You can do it online and vote often between now and May 20th for the NASCAR Hall of Fame. The two leading vote getters right now online by the fans or through Facebook are Rick Hendrick and Alan Kwiecki. So keep those votes going. Here are 7 more reasons you should vote for Alan Kwiecki to be in the NASCAR Hall of Fame. Number 1, these are what I made up, okay? Number 1, through stubborn determination and in the face of a big money offer from the top team owner, Junior Johnson, Alan stayed his course and built a team he owned and operated that won the 1992 NASCAR Championship. Number 2, while he only compiled 5 career victories, Kwiecki changed the mindset of how his peers raced. He carried a briefcase, took detailed notes of all the adjustments. Engineers were not involved in NASCAR, say, outside of the big 3 manufacturers and the folks they brought along to help their teams get better. Now there's an engineer on every pit box. He, the driver and engineer, forever raised the bar. Number 3, Alan Kwiecki represented the ultimate underdog, the American dream. He broke the NASCAR driver stereotype and he embraced being a role model. Number 4, Alan never forgot his roots and stayed true to his friends, including the show founder, Terry Jeffords. When Terry's bugging him to be on the show, he's like, I don't have a sponsor, I have nothing to talk about. He's like, get your butt on the show. Especially when Alan came home for Summerfest, Terry made him come to this program. It was always a lot of fun having Alan on. Number 6, he wiped out 2 race cars in the fall race weekend at Dover in 1992. He was out 278 points from the lead in the championship. 6 races still ahead. He told his team, guys, we're working so hard, I think we're done. I don't think we have a shot at the championship. His guys, all 17 of them, said, we're not going to let you quit, Alan. They believed in him. They stuck together. They knew following Dover it was going to be a luxury to sleep, not a necessity. And number 7, The Day. That's the name of the program ESPN produced that detailed the accounts of November 15, 1992. That's the day Alan raced for and won the championship in Atlanta. I was there. Alan himself knew what he had to do. He was a human computer in every sense of the word, and boy, was he amazing to watch and listen to on my scanner. It quickly became obvious that Bill Elliott and Alan had the fastest cars. I'm reliving it now with you because I think it's worthwhile. 4 other drivers were mathematically still in the championship equation. Mark Martin's engine blew on lap 160. The favorite, Davey Allison, was caught up in that crash with Ernie Irvin on the front stretch on lap 251. He was out of it. Harry Gant and Kyle Petty, they were mathematically involved. Kyle Petty said, yeah, until we showed up in Atlanta. Then it was all about those other guys. But anyway, nonetheless, they both finished outside the top 10, but not by much. They were kind of circling the racetrack waiting for what other shoe may drop. Elliott and Kwiecki were the show. It was some of the hardest side-by-side racing I'd ever seen in NASCAR, still to this day. Elliott led, then Kwiecki. That's how the whole race went. By a single lap and the bonus points for the most laps led, Kwiecki knew what he had to do. He stayed out on lap 310 before the pitted under green to lock in the most laps led points. The improbable became reality. The last owner-driver champion, in my estimation, was crowned that day. Vote now, vote tomorrow, and every day until May 20, the deadline for Alan Kwiecki to be voted in the NASCAR Hall of Fame. You can vote online at www.nascar.com/Hall of Fame or find that on Facebook by searching NASCAR Hall of Fame. That's my thoughts. We'll see you next Tuesday at Friends at Forest Home. Thanks for another great show here on the Race Roundup Show, live in Milwaukee and Madison. We'll catch you on the road at Friends at Forest Home for Frenzo de Mayo next Tuesday. Until then, have at it, racers.